Hey, it's Kinsey. I'm coming to you live from the Capex Home Gym Lab. Today, I'm here to talk to you about the Dane from Fringe Sport, specifically the Dane 1.0. Now, the draw to the Dane is that it is the best budget-friendly bang for your buck squat rack that you can get right now with 3x3 uprights, 11 gauge steel, and a functional trainer integrated in the squat rack. Now, the problem with the Dane 1.0 that people were complaining about is because it's 1-to-1 ratio, when you selected the 10 pounds with this weight pin, you were really feeling about 15 pounds here. The reason why that's a problem is it makes it a little too heavy for things like chest flies, single arm lateral raises, and rear delt flies. I'm hoping this video does two things for you. Number one, if you're someone who already purchased the Dane 1.0 and you're not loving the 1-to-1 ratio because of the starting weight, I want to show you how to convert it to the 2-to-1 ratio. And then the second thing I'm hoping that this video does is if you're trying to decide whether to snag up the last Dane 1.0s or go ahead with the 2.0, I'm hoping this video helps you decide which direction to go with that. Now, the only downside and con to this conversion is obviously instead of the 160 pounds here and 160 pounds here, now I have felt load about 80 pounds on each side. To me, not a big deal because I do have a gym pin and I can throw more weight on. The 5mm cable I'm not going to do more than 200 pounds on either side. And the 5mm cable is definitely strong enough for that. So no problems here with losing half of my weight stack. It's worth it in the end for a smoother pull and to be able to do things like chest flies, single arm lateral raises, and rear delt flies with the lower starting weight. Now, you are going to purchase a few things for this build. Number one, you're going to need 60 feet of 5mm cable. When you convert over to the 2-to-1, you do need more cable, so the cable that the Dane originally comes with will not work. Each side will take about 22 to 25 feet. I can't give you an exact measurement because it does kind of depend on what size pulley you get and what size bolt you get. Number two, you're going to need a couple of these off Amazon. I would suggest getting the aluminum pulley just so that it matches the rest of your Dane. Number three, you are going to need a 16mm bolt. The 16mm bolt is what is going to secure that pulley bracket to the top of your weight stack. You will also need a drill bit big enough for that 16mm bolt to go through this bracket, because once you take this eyelet off, this hole needs to be bigger to fit that 16mm bolt and secure it to the top of the weight stack. All right, the fourth and the fifth thing that you will need for this conversion to be complete is you're going to need to buy these little metal ball stoppers for the end of your cable. This is the one that is originally on the Dane, and that just keeps it from slipping off of this, which is also called a cable stopper. So with your new cable that you purchase, you'll need one end to have one of those little metal cable stoppers on the end, especially if you plan on reusing this, which I did. And then you'll need a crimper / swagger tool to crimp that on the end of your cable. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me so long. Here we go. Here's the final explanation, okay? So your Dane originally comes with this, and this is screwed in directly to the top of your weight stack with the cable running right into this bolt. So that is what makes it 1-to-1, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take the cable out by loosening up these little Allen keys, these little Allen nuts right here. So loosen those up, take the cable out. That'll make it easier for you to just go ahead and unscrew that from the top of your weight stack. I would hang on to these in case you ever want to go back to the 1-to-1 ratio, but for now, toss them to the side, put them in a box somewhere safe. And then from there, after you have that, you'll unthread all the cabling minus this. This cable I did not replace. This is the cable that hooks to your squat rack here and also runs underneath this pulley and then to the back of your trolley. You will not need to replace that cable to convert it to the 2-to-1. Okay, so leave that cable alone. We're only messing with the cable that runs to your weight stack. All right, you're going to take all that old cable and take it out. Again, you're going to probably want to save that too in case you ever want to go back to the 1-to-1. So put that aside. From there, you're now going to take your pulley off of this bracket. You're going to take a drill bit and make a big enough hole here for 16 millimeter bolt. So once you have a big enough hole, you will take that bolt and the bracket and secure it into the top of your weight stack. And then you'll go ahead and obviously you'll have to take this pulley off. It'll be in your way, but you'll put the pulley back on and then it'll just be sitting in the top of your weight stack like so. You are then going to take that 60 feet of 5 millimeter cable that you got. You're going to cut that in half, and you want plenty of excess to work with. So from there, you're going to feed the cable exactly how you fed it originally. It doesn't change until you get down to the weight stack. And then once you get down to the weight stack, all you're going to do is you're going to wrap it underneath the pulley, and then you're going to secure it up here. This is the part of the build that you're going to have to freestyle, okay? I could not figure out a way to mount this cable without drilling into my squat rack. And so I have about a 6 to 7 inch cable with these little eyelets on the end. And then you can see that I have it mounted up here just like this. I will put a better picture of it attached to this slide, but you can get an idea of how I mounted it up there. If you do decide to go that route and mount it that way, you will need to purchase the little 5 millimeter eyelets. I will put this on the screen as well. You will need to get some of those so that you can mount it exactly like this. This makes it so you don't have to do anything to your squat rack that's going to void the warranty. You don't want to be drilling into your squat rack or mounting anything to the squat rack that's permanent, because it does void that warranty. So keep that in mind. All right, so after you get your cable mounted to the top of your squat rack and you figure out how you want to do that, at that point you are going to be on this end figuring out, okay, you'll have 8 to 10 feet of excess cable. You want to get it as close to this pulley as you can, so make your cut, install one of those little metal cable stoppers, and put this bad boy back on. If you have some slack in your cable, that's totally fine, because you do have room here on this trolley to tighten it up if it's not super tight to right here. So keep that in mind. You do have like a few inches of wiggle room because you can adjust this up and down and tighten everything up. All right, guys, and that is how you convert the Fringe Sport Dane from a 1-to-1 ratio to a 2-to-1 ratio. All the items, links will be in the description below, and please comment if you have any questions or if I missed anything.